Okay, so let's jump right in. We have this idea that to really change our lives, we need to do something huge, right? Like a massive, dramatic life overhaul. But what if that's all wrong? What if the biggest, most powerful transformations actually come from the smallest, quietest actions that we just do over and over and over again?
I mean, have you ever felt this? You set some massive goal, like, I'm going to write a book, or I'm finally getting in shape, and then nothing. The goal was just so big, so intimidating that you feel totally paralyzed. You don't even know where to start. So yeah, you just don't. And trust me, that feeling, it is incredibly common.
And really, that paralysis comes from this common approach you see on the left. It's that all-or-nothing mindset where we think we have to make these huge, sweeping changes. But what we're going to talk about today is the complete opposite of that. It's the idea on the right, the tiny system. We're shifting away from those dramatic, unsustainable bursts of effort and towards simple, repeatable habits that become so automatic, they just happen.
All right, so first up, let's talk about what I call the overwhelm trap. We're going to dig into the psychology here and figure out why our biggest, most inspiring goals so often end up going absolutely nowhere. And here's the thing, this really gets to the core of it. This isn't about you being lazy or lacking willpower. No way. You're actually fighting your own brain's wiring. See, when a goal feels way too big, your brain basically goes into red alert. It sees it as a huge waste of energy, and it throws up this massive wall of resistance. So that procrastination you feel, it's not a character flaw. It's actually a self-defense mechanism.
So, how do you get past that wall? You don't try to knock it down. You sneak around it. And that's where the tiny system comes in. The whole secret is to make a habit so small, so simple, that you can do it without even thinking about it, without any hesitation. The action needs to be so ridiculously easy that your brain just shrugs and says, fine, whatever, and doesn't even bother putting up a fight. It's like you're tricking yourself into getting started.
This quote just nails it. Think about it. Do you wake up and have a big debate with yourself about whether or not to brush your teeth? Of course not. You just do it. It's automatic. And that's the goal. That's the level of automaticity we're aiming for. Because when a good habit becomes that automatic, you're not wasting brain power on it anymore. All that mental energy is freed up for the bigger stuff.
Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, right? But what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's get into some practical examples of these tiny systems and see the huge impact they can have.
And our first one, this is a total game changer. It's all built around this number, 2. This is the magic number behind what's called the 2-minute rule. The rule couldn't be simpler. If a task pops up and you know it will take less than 2 minutes to do, you just do it immediately. No, I'll do it later. Just do it now. We're talking about things like putting your cup in the dishwasher instead of the sink, answering that one quick email, hanging up your jacket instead of throwing it on a chair. It stops that death by 1,000 cuts feeling, where all these tiny little tasks pile up and just clog up your mind.
Okay, here's another great one. Night before preparation. Think of it like this. You're doing a favor for your future self. You're making decisions the night before when you're calm and have the energy. So you lay out your work clothes. You clear off your desk for the morning. You write down your top 3 priorities for the next day. By doing this, you're removing all the friction. So when you wake up, there are no decisions to make. You don't have to wonder where to start. You're already in motion.
And last but not least, the weekly review. This is all about a tiny investment for a huge payoff in clarity. Seriously, just 15 minutes, maybe on a Sunday afternoon. You just look at your calendar for the coming week, clear out your email inbox, and just get your bearings. That tiny little ritual can be the difference between you steering your week and your week just dragging you along for the ride.
So let's just pull this all together for a second. The 2-minute rule, do a small task now, you get less mental clutter. The night before prep, you set up for tomorrow, you start the day already moving. The weekly review, you plan the week, you get less chaos and confusion. See the pattern? A tiny action leads to a huge benefit. It's such a simple, beautiful formula.
Okay, so you get what these are and why they work. Now for the fun part, how to actually build one for yourself. Let's walk through a super simple 3-step guide so you can create your very first tiny system like today. And of course, the process for building a tiny system is also tiny and simple. Step 1, just notice something. Find a small, repeating problem or point of friction in your life. You know, that little thing that always annoys you. Step 2, ask one very important question. And step 3, design the smallest possible habit to fix it.
And this is the most important part. This is the question you have to ask yourself. Not, how do I fix this huge problem forever? No, you ask, what is the smallest, easiest, most ridiculously simple habit that would make this problem start to go away? The keywords there are smallest and easiest. That's the whole magic trick. So, let's make this real. Problem. You keep forgetting to pay your bills. The tiny solution isn't to become a financial wizard overnight. It's just to set one single automatic calendar reminder. Problem. You always miss your workouts. The tiny solution isn't to promise you'll go to the gym 6 days a week. It's just to lay out your workout clothes the night before. See? The solution should feel almost laughably small. That's how you know you're on the right track. And please remember this. The goal is consistency, not perfection. It doesn't matter if you mess up. It doesn't matter if you miss a day. What matters is that you keep showing up. You're building the consistency muscle. And every time you do that tiny thing, you're literally rewiring your brain and making that habit stick. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Okay, this is cute, but these are just tiny things. How much can they really change? Well, that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about the magic of the compounding effect and how these small changes explode into huge results over time. Just look at this. This is why it works. The benefits don't just add up 1 + 1 + 1, they grow exponentially. A tiny habit doesn't just give you a little boost each day. It builds on itself, it gathers steam, it compounds, until a year from now, the result is so much bigger than you could have ever imagined. And this isn't just about getting more stuff done, it's about how you feel. Your life literally starts to feel lighter. You know that constant low-level anxiety that buzzes in the back of your mind? The one that's always trying to keep track of all the little things you haven't done? It starts to disappear. Because those loose ends, they're not loose anymore. And this right here is the ultimate goal. You stop being a firefighter, just running around putting out fires and reacting to chaos all day. Instead, you become the architect. You're moving through a system, a structure that you built for yourself. It's a massive shift from being reactive to being proactive. So in the end, tiny systems aren't about forgetting your big goals. Not at all. They are the foundation for your big goals. They create this invisible support system that just takes care of all the little things automatically. And that frees up all your mental space, all your energy, so you can finally go after those big, ambitious things you really want to achieve. So, that brings us to the final question, and this one is all for you. Don't try to change your entire life tomorrow. Just think about one small thing, one tiny, nagging point of friction. What is the one tiny, almost effortless system you can build for yourself starting today?